Good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be such a good announcements, and it is a pleasure to be here at Workhouse in North York with Minister Monte McNaughton, Catherine and Wes from the Ontario Workforce Recovery Advisory Committee, and thank you, Adrian, for hosting us today. At a perfect venue, considering Workhouse is an innovative space leading the future of work. And just look around. Like you, our government is laser focused on staying ahead of the curve. That is why I'm excited to be here with the Minister and members of our committee as we release their Future of Work report and hear more about their recommendations. And to the members of the committee, you were given the important but challenging task of recommending ways to modernize and adapt to the challenging and the changing landscape of where and how we work. Changes that have accelerated by the pandemic, but have also created new opportunities to build back a better Ontario. That is why I'm excited to be here, because the recommendations in this report are going to help us our path forward and create a better future for workers and their families, and a future with more opportunities for growth and prosperity, and one where Ontario is the best place to work, live, raise a family, and thrive. Thank you. Thank you to the members of the committee and all the stakeholders for your valuable inputs. So without further ado, I would like to invite my good friend, a wonderful family man, an amazing father, and our Minister of Labour, Training and Skill Development, Minister Monte McNaughton, to make the announcement. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, Deepak. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone this morning. It is really a pleasure to be here. We're really excited about this announcement today and the release of this report. And I'm really happy to be joined by some of the committee members who've done excellent work looking at the future of work. Here today with Catherine Marshall and Vas Bednar, two outstanding committee members. The future of work is already here. And under the leadership of Premier Doug Ford, we are adapting quickly to chart a course that leaves no one behind. We're not going back to where we were before. Instead, we are making changes that put Ontario workers and their families first for generations to come. This summer, I appointed an expert committee to examine the changing landscape of work and provide recommendations that position Ontario as the best place in North America to recruit, retain, and attract workers. And boy, did they ever deliver. From June to September, the committee met with over 150 workers, union leaders, advocacy groups, and employers. They also reviewed and analyzed an additional 550 written submissions. And they surveyed over 2,000 people from all across Ontario. Thank you to Committee Chair Rohiten Medora for leading such a thoughtful and thorough process, along with Catherine and Vas, who are here with me today, Mark Quayle, Sean Spear, Mark Beckles, and Susan MacArthur. You completed your mission and did so much more. We are already moving forward on several key recommendations, such as the right to disconnect from work at the end of a workday, banning non-compete agreements that hold back workers from advancing their careers and earning bigger paychecks, and breaking down Canadian work experience barriers that prevent foreign-trained immigrants from continuing their professions here in Ontario. We also responded to the #1 ask we heard from gig workers, which is to allow delivery drivers to access washrooms along their route. All of these changes are the first of their kind in Canada, but all of them are also smart and long overdue. I believe the Canadian dream is alive and well. It's time we made it a reality for more people across Ontario. We've done a lot over the last few months, including unprecedented moves that many did not expect from our government. But those surprised should pay close attention because we're just getting started. We are reviewing every single recommendation in this report, and there is more to come, including more supports and protections for gig workers. I'm proud of the steps we're taking to make Ontario the best place to live, work, and raise a family, a place where the future works for all of you. Thank you, and I'd now like to welcome Vaz up to speak, and again to thank her and the entire committee for all the work that they did over the summer and up until this day. So Vaz, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My remarks are brief. Not only would I like to thank the government for the opportunity to serve as a panelist, I want to thank everyone that took the time and made the time in a pandemic context. This report was created not just because of the context that we're in, but despite of it and through it. I'm very encouraged that some of the recommendations have already been acted on. It's great to see Ontario taking the lead. And of everything in the report, there's plenty that I'm excited about, but in particular is the opportunity for the state, the role of government, to talk and think more about algorithmic accountability and really address the digitally mediated way that so many, perhaps too many people are working. That is a reality of work right now, but maybe it doesn't have to be, and maybe we can do better. Thank you. I'd like to introduce my fellow panelist, Catherine Marshall. She's a labor and employment lawyer.
So it's been super exciting to be on this committee and to have the report be released. That was a lot of work that went into that, and we heard from so many stakeholders, and it was a really exciting thing to be part of. We're so proud of every single one of the recommendations in the report. They're all very innovative and will serve to make the province a better place for workers and more competitive and bring it into the future with respect to workplaces. It's been very exciting to see the government move on a number of our recommendations so far, especially the right to disconnect, such an important thing to ensure that workers are healthy, safe, and have family time, especially in this day and age with the pandemic and the 24/7 cycle that people are on with their employers, with their smartphones and their laptops. One recommendation in the report that I'm particularly excited about is the recommendation that gig workers and app-based platform workers be recognized as dependent contractors in the Employment Standards Act and be given some very important employment rights that they do not currently have, such as the right to minimum wage, the right to termination pay, and the right to pay transparency, to receive a pay stub. These are basic things that they absolutely should have, and we heard a lot from gig workers, and again, I'm very excited to see this recommendation. So without further ado, I will pass the platform back to Minister McNaughton. Thank you.
Up to questions, just a reminder, one question, one follow-up. If you could do it at the microphone, and there'll be a chance for one-on-ones after as well.
Hi, Minister. It's Sarah from the Toronto Star. In many of the submissions from gig workers and labour advocates, there is a call to recognize gig workers as full employees and recognize their full entitlement to all of our minimum workplace standards. Do you feel that the recommendation to create a third category is out of step with those demands?
No, look, we've heard from more than 700 people as we went through this process. I personally met with dozens of gig workers United, other large labor unions who had different views. As we know, they're not always singing the same song. But I can tell you my aim and our government's mission is to ensure that more families are financially independent. We are not going back to where we were before this pandemic. And my message to those gig companies, those Ubers of the world, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, and others, if you're not looking after your workers, then we're going to make you look after your workers. This is Ontario. I'm proud that we're taking a decisive action to move forward with the first of its kind type of labor reforms in the country. we've done a lot over the last 3 months, and there will be more to come.
Just a follow-up, are you committing to creating a third category, or are you still examining the recommendation that's been
Yeah,
made?
certainly still examining them. We're releasing the report today publicly. There's 21 recommendations. We've moved quickly after seeing the interim report on 3 of the recommendations. Really proud of banning the non-competes, implementing a right to disconnect policies, and ensuring that app-based food delivery drivers and all truck drivers have access to washrooms. The legislature resumes on February 22nd, and we'll be moving forward over the next number of weeks and months to ensure again that there's a rebalancing of the scales and putting workers in the driver's seat.
Thank you.
Hi, Minister. Jeff Goldmel. Just picking up on that, if you go ahead and create this subcategory, I mean, you say you're working for workers, you're on the side of the workers. Are you not creating a new subclass of worker with fewer rights than other workers in the province are entitled to? Aren't you entrenching the problems that come with this gig worker economy?
Well, look, I'm proud of this report. It's coming forward with 21 recommendations. I want to thank all of the committee members and those 700 plus people who came forward with ideas and written submissions. And I know they're going to see in this report what they brought forward. I'll have Catherine talk more about the proposals that are coming forward specifically on the gig workers. I do want to make it clear, I mean, I've seen the proposal by Uber. I'm not going down that road. I made a decision consciously to go in a different direction. Every single worker in the province, for example, deserves at least minimum wage. They deserve to have a pay stub and transparency over their pay. And we're going to continue rebalancing the scales and ensuring that we're shifting the balance to workers, because all workers in Ontario deserve to get a bigger share of the bigger piece of the economic pie, and everything we're doing is about that. But I'll have Catherine come up and speak more about the gig proposals.
Hi. This is definitely a recommendation I feel so strongly about, because in my practice as an employment lawyer, I frequently have people come to me seeking advice because they've been terminated and they have been misclassified as independent contractors by their employers, and they have been offered absolutely nothing in terms of termination pay. And when I look at the facts of the case, I realize this person isn't really an independent contractor. They're actually in a relationship of dependency with their employer. And the common law in this province has long recognized the category of a dependent contractor, someone who exists between an independent contractor and a full-fledged employee. And the common law has actually stated that these individuals are entitled to reasonable notice, and there is a lot of litigation that happens over these types of cases. Now, when we look at gig workers, and in particular the app-based platform workers, these are workers who are in many cases being taken advantage of by the platform companies. They are being classified as independent contractors, but they're really more dependent on the platform companies for, you know, everything from their rate of pay to you know, how they get treated in terms of you know, what they can charge out. They don't really receive pay stubs in many cases. They are probably, in many situations, not even being given minimum wage. And there is no other jurisdiction in Canada that recognizes within statute, under the employment standards regime, a dependent contractor. And right now, these workers have zero employment rights, and that's wrong. And our recommendation is that it's long time to recognize these workers as being dependent contractors and being entitled to employment rights that many people receive under the Employment Standards Act, while also recognizing that these are workers who have a high degree of flexibility and are not in a traditional employee-employer relationship. And utilizing the standard that has already been set by the common law as to what criteria make someone a dependent contractor and what sorts of things that they should be entitled to. So I view this as being a very exciting recommendation to help level the playing field and protect these workers and make it more fair, which is a good thing.
Great, okay, thanks. Maybe just follow up with Monty then. We've got a menu of options in this report. You have talked about the portable benefits package as being something you like. You're not committing to all of these. Are you going to do them one at a time? In February, we're going to see the portable benefits first. Is that what we can expect?
Well, we're here today on the release of the report and 21 recommendations. As I said, the legislature comes back February 22nd. So between now and then, we'll ensure that we're, getting more consultation on these recommendations and getting feedback to develop a path forward. But you're right, I am excited about the portable benefits proposal in this report. Again, I want more families to be financially independent, and I'd love to see more workers with health and dental benefits, vision benefits, and this is one idea that's worthwhile of further work, and I'm going to dig into it and come forward with a plan forward.
Hi, Minister Mike Crawley from CBC News. Related to portable benefits, what are you going to do to actually get the employers who are not currently, providing workers with benefits to actually agree to pay into this system? Because just if you create it, doesn't necessarily mean that the employers are going to be wanting to contribute to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get ahead of where we're at today. I mean, today is about the report coming out. I'm going to dig into the portable benefits recommendation. Again, I've been clear since becoming the Minister of Labour, Training and Skills Development. I want more opportunities for workers to have more take-home pay, to have more jobs with benefits and pensions. That's why I promote the skilled trades, because we all know people in the trades making over $100,000 a year with a defined pension and benefits. We need more people getting those opportunities. So I'm excited about this recommendation in the report.
I want to ask you about rapid tests in the workplace, because I know that the Labour Ministry has some involvement with, figuring out what workplaces are in need of rapid tests. So is there any assurance that these rapid tests are actually going to the workplaces that actually need them?
Well, I know the Minister of Health issued a release this morning on rapid tests. It's my understanding that 34 million have been deployed now across the province. We've deployed more rapid tests than all the other provinces combined. You're right, we have taken the lead with rapid testing on construction sites, for example. The Premier and I were down long before what was last year, about a year ago now, when we were doing rapid testing on construction sites in Toronto, and I saw firsthand how hundreds of construction workers were being tested. It was working successfully, but 34 million tests have been deployed right across this province, and we're going to continue to obviously work with the federal government. They're procured through the feds to ensure that there's more tests available for people.
I need to follow up just for clarification. Are any rapid tests going to non-essential workplaces?
I can get details for you afterwards. I saw, on construction sites with my own eyes how effective they are and how they're keeping people that have COVID-19 out of job sites. We also, as you know, Mike brought forward and extended the 3 paid sick days for workers across the province. So we'll continue to ensure that paid sick days are there for workers throughout the pandemic.
Good morning, Minister. This is from Matt Bingley, Global Television. There are many ambitious ideas in the Labour report. What are some of the unrealistic targets you're not planning to include, and why not?
Well, I'm not going to dismiss any of the 21 recommendations today. Again, we're making this report public. I'm proud to say that we're the first in Canada to take action. We're not going back to where we were before the pandemic hit the province. This is all about building back a better, a stronger Ontario, a more fair Ontario for everyone. and we've already moved on 3 of the initiatives, and there'll be more to come soon.
And the gig economy has been around for quite some time now. Why are you focusing on it now?
Well, the future of work is here. There's thousands of workers working in the gig economy, and we know going forward there's going to be thousands and thousands of more people working in the gig economy. My message to not just the gig employers, but all employers out there, you need to be looking after your workers, and if you're not going to be, then I'm going to step in and make sure that you're looking after your workers.
Thank you.
Hi, Minister. Jamie with City TV. I understand that you've got a lot of recommendations here. I'm just wondering, given the fact that you have a short runway for this, the election's less than 6 months away, why does this have to go through the House? Why can't you bring a lot of the changes in through just normal changing of the Labour Code?
Well, as you saw, we just passed the Working for Workers Act with all party support. I'm proud that we've been able to receive all party support on some of our labor changes so far. And I know we've surprised many people out there, and they're going to be even more surprised when they see changes coming forward. But these are legislative fixes. As I said, the report's out today, it's public, and on February 22nd, the legislature will resume. And we'll have more to say between now and then.
But, okay, back to that question, but the answer to that question is really, February 22nd doesn't give you a lot of time to pass all 3 readings of this. This just may get left on the table as the election timeline runs out. So why can't you change the definition of a worker right now in your own legislation? Why does it have to go through the House?
Well, again, these recommendations are just becoming public today. Many of them, if not all of them, are legislative changes. And, you know, we're going to look at all of them and be very clear on what we're going to do going forward to improve the lives of workers in the province. Everything we're doing is about ensuring higher paychecks and more take-home pay for workers, more workplace protections, and more opportunities for better jobs. That's why I'm so excited about the idea of portable benefits. I think that's going to really change lives for workers in this province, and looking forward to digging into that recommendation as well as the others.
Cheers, thank you. Thank you, Minister.
Great.
I think we're good.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.